So still on deposits, because it's still one of the biggest legal trip hazards, and it's not going to get any easier with the Renters' Rights Act. Deposits are the simplest part of renting, and yet they're still one of the most expensive places to get it wrong. Because when deposits go wrong, it's not just frustrating, it can cost you time, money, and in some cases, the ability to regain possession of your property. So, who's this video for? Well, really it's if you're a self-managing owner. This is especially for you because deposits feel so straightforward. You take the money, you protect it, you deal with it at the end. But that simplicity is exactly where people get caught out. So here's the reality on deposits. They're not about holding money. They're about following a strict legal process. And importantly, it's not a new process. Deposit protection was introduced under the Housing Act 2004 and came into force in April 2007. At the same time, landlords were required to protect the deposit in a government-approved scheme and serve prescribed information. So from day one, this has always been a two-step process. Protect the deposit, prove that your tenant has been properly informed. And the common mistake we still see, and I'm going to say this because a number of landlords that I talk to, it's still happening. They put the deposit into their own bank account, treating it in some respects like part of their funds. Let me be clear, this is not your money. It belongs to your resident. You are holding it under strict legal rules, and if you don't protect it properly, you are immediately exposed. So let's talk about timing, and this is where many people get caught out. Originally, landlords had 14 days to comply, but that changed under the Localism Act 2011, and now there's 30 days to protect the deposit, serve the prescribed information. Miss that window, you're already in breach. So what should happen in practice? Well, once protected, you'll receive a deposit protection certificate, the scheme confirmation, reference details, and that's only half the job. As I said, it's a two-stage place. You've got to serve the prescribed information, ensure it's complete and correct, and be able to prove it was given, because if you can't prove it, it didn't happen. So what does compliance actually mean? Well, most owners think that the deposit's protected, the certificate's being received, but legally it means have you done it within 30 days? Was the information served correctly? Has the evidence been retained? And this is where many self-managing owners get caught out. The three biggest mistakes I've seen over the last couple of years: protected but not correctly, late, incomplete or incorrect details, no proof of service, no signature, no email, no audit trail, and end of tenancy assumptions. No inventory, no photos, no evidence. So let's bring this in today's landscape, because this is where things are changing. The deposit rules themselves haven't changed, but what has changed is enforcement, scrutiny, consequences. Under the Renters' Rights Act and wider enforcement changes, residents are more aware, councils are more active, and compliance is going to be checked more closely. So rent repayment orders, now that's a biggie from that point of view, because they're now 24 months. And this is the part of that many owners aren't aware of. We're seeing a rise in rent repayment orders. And these allow tenants or councils to reclaim rent when there has been non-compliance. And under the evolving framework, claims can be made up to, as I said, 24 months rent. So let's put that into numbers. Average rent in the area, £1,200. It's nearly 30 grand. So where do deposits fit into this? Now, the deposits don't trigger a rent repayment order on their own, but they're often part of a big picture, because what councils and courts look at is overall compliance. If they see deposit errors, missing prescribed information, poor documentation, delayed repairs, missing certificates, that creates a pattern, and it's that pattern that will increase risks. So bringing it back to possession, let's go back to the key question. If you needed your property back for your family, would your deposit, the way you've held it, stand up? Because if your deposit wasn't or was protected late, or the information wasn't served correctly, your notice will be invalid. Your case will be delayed or possibly thrown out entirely. It's a bit of a mindset shift in some respects, because there is a real change. Because before, I've done most of it, that should be fine. Now, can I evidence every step correctly if challenged? And a simple reality check. Ask yourself, was the deposit protected within 30 days? Was the prescribed information served correctly? Can I prove it? Would this stand up in court? And if the answer is, I think so, there's your risk. The good news, let's be clear, if you protect the deposit correctly, serve the information properly, keep good records, nothing to worry about. The Renters' Rights Act is not about catching good owners out. It's about exposing poor processes. And a final thought, deposits haven't changed since 2007, but what has changed is they're now being checked properly, and that's where things go wrong. The consequences are bigger. Handle properly, deposits protect you. Handle casually, they expose you. So why don't you subscribe to Maxine Lester TV for next week's update on the Renters' Rights Guide. We're guiding you through every part of renting so you can stay compliant and protect your investment. And why not join our free webinar on the 15th of April? Just DM me, webinar, and we'll get you booked on. We'll walk you through exactly what you need to be in place calmly, clearly, without any noise or fuss. Look forward to meeting with you.